Hello there, Fat Cockney here again. Got my new t-shirt on, can you see that? You can get these on my site. If you go on my channel, there's a link, fourth wall, click on that. Anyway, how to get a shotgun certificate. If you don't know no one who does any shooting or anyone to ask, this is how to do it. Right, go online, there's some forms to fill in on. Just go on your local police site. If you look on there, it will have a link for firearms, because there's a lot more people got them than you believe there is. Anyway, here's the Surrey in Sussex website. I just typed in Google firearms Surrey in Sussex, and this is what comes up. Everything's here. Tell you what you need to know, who can apply, how to apply. You know what you need here: photos, referees, your details. It's all quite straightforward. It's all easy, and it's all online. So why are you waiting? Just start clicking. Get started. You need to have a practice if you like it. Just Google. Go on Google. Look, gun clubs near me. Or even gun shops. Go in a gun shop, he will know. If you asked him and you're looking respectable, just say, is there any clay pigeon clubs? I want to get into this. He will know the secretaries, because the chances are he sells them the cartridges or the clays or the trap machines. So he'll know the people that can help you. Other bigger clubs, you know, you can have lessons, pay for some lessons. I recommend that anyway to begin with. It just helps make you safe. Now, as I say, just helps make you safe. If you can keep hearing banging, I'm at Bisley, next to a rifle range here, so they're all shooting away. But the hooter will go soon because it's dinner time. So yeah, ask them. Then get in touch with a club. Send them an email. You're interested? Can you come down and meet them? Because they're going to want to see you to make sure you're not some kind of nutter. I get people contact me on here. Oh, I want to go shooting. Can I come? It's like I don't know you. You know, I would take people, but I've got to meet them first. You know, if they said, "I'll come up to my local pub, I'll have a beer and see if you're not a lunatic," because someone's going to give you a gun. So again, have a few lessons. Ask the people there. If you get into it, you'll find people to take you around, because that's how we all got started. They'll lend you their gun. One of my gun clubs is Sunday, first Sunday of the month. We quite often have people that don't own guns in our squad, and I'll loan them a gun. I have different calibers they can use even as well. But 9 times out of 10, if it's a fella, I'll loan them the one I'm using. So yeah, do that with a club. Police like that, because they want to know why you want a gun. You can't. Next, you're going to need a cabinet. Get a good cabinet, much bigger than you think you need. I recommend at least a 5 or 6 gun cabinet, because the bigger they are, if you get a couple of guns, 3 guns in a 6 gun, there's plenty of room for them not to get scratched. Because some, guns can be expensive, be cheap as well, but you're not going to want them dinged every time you get them in and out. Plus, the longer you're in this sport, the more guns you're going to get. People give them to you because they give up. One of my clubs, they like to shoot side-by-sides. Once a year. We have a side-by-side day. We'll have a small bore day. So you end up getting different guns for different things. Again, so you need a safe. As I said, what's the next thing you got to do? On the form, you're going to have to speak about any criminal convictions. But don't let that put you off. I mean, I had a fair few when I was a youngster. Up until 21, I was a bloody arsehole. Always in and out of trouble and things. I was in a children's home at 14, 15. So I was mixing with arseholes. You become an arsehole. that was back in the very early 80s. So don't let it put you off. I've known people that have been to prison, been a few years before they got their ticket, but they got their license because they've changed character. They've not been in trouble for 20 years. They've been a model citizen. They just done something stupid when they were younger, like we all have. Just not everyone gets caught. So yeah, any convictions, you've got to put them down, because if you don't and they know you've not, they'll think you're a liar, and they're not going to give a license to liars. Next thing you need is a medical certificate. A letter, I should say, about your medical history. You go to the doctors, just ask. They know what they're on about. They get asked from all the time. They're looking for, the police are looking for, if you're on antidepressants, if you're suicide, self-harm, that sort of thing. Again, it's not going to stop you if there's been plenty of time. I've known people that are on antidepressants and still shoot because of their job. They were just getting stressed and having anxiety. It doesn't stop them as long as you're open and honest. And not everyone's a nutcase on antidepressants. Some it's because of their job. They're dealing in very stressful situations. I've got friends that are in the medical profession and they take them. What else are you're gonna need to know? Your safe, your certificate. What else are you gonna need to know? You got to pay the fee. Can't remember what that is. Hopefully I'll put it out here. Just here. The fee's just there. Always do it like that, innit? Fee's just here. How much it now costs for your ticket. Again, you're going to have an interview. When you have your interview, it's going to help you if you've had some lessons, because they know you learn the safety on the lessons. If you're in the club still and you're doing some shooting, it's going to help you, because he knows where you're going to shoot. When he comes around, he's checking to make sure you're not a nutcase. He will have checked out your Facebook and any social media you've got. So so don't have any pictures of you, holding zombie knives, smoking spliffs, doing gang signs. You ain't getting it, because you're not the person that we want to have a gun. He's going to chat to you, what your missus, to get on with your neighbours. It's not just going to be talking about the shooting. He wants to know about you. He wants to know how you tick when you get your interview. You're going to have a couple of references, because I've been shooting for a little while. I'd put down an airline captain that I'd go shooting with, who's still a very good mate, for my reference, and a retired detective inspector. So that's who I put. It all helps. It's all a box ticking exercise. As I say, get a bigger safe than you need, because you're going to get more guns than you think, because all guns do different jobs. And over and under is really for clay shooting. Side by side is a Vermin or a sport gun, because it's lighter, but it knocks the shit out your shoulder unless you're built like a brick shit house if you're going to shoot 200 clays through it. That's why you want over and under for clays. If you're wandering around the field, you want a side by side. I love shooting 410s. I've got little side by side 410s, because they come up for peanuts in the gun shops and that. So yeah, just, you will get more guns than you think you need. I mean, that's about it really on how to get your ticket. Some take months, some take years, the police force, to give it to you. And again, vermin shooting. If they ask you, going to do any vermin shooting? If you don't know any farmers and you don't know anyone that you do it that's going to take you vermin shooting, the answer's no. because he's going to ask you questions that you can't answer. Yeah, you know, I thought I wanted to do that when I got my license. I thought, yeah, I'll go out. I think it was about 3 years before I went vermin shooting, and that was with a guy that done it all the time. Because now, unless you know the farmers, they're not going to let you wander. Even if you know them, they're not just going to let you wander around. You need someone who's done it, because you need to know what shot to use for certain animals. You know, bigger shot. You know, you want a bigger shot if you're shooting geese. Bigger one if you shoot. You know, bigger again if you or larger, I should say. You need a sixes, I think, if you're shooting pigeons and crows. Fives for geese, and when you're normally shooting clay pigeons, you're shooting 8s or 7.5s or even 7s. So that's the size of the balls, and also how much power's in the cartridge to thump, how much lead, which means the distance that thing's going to go. So if you're going to tell him, oh yeah, I want to do a bit of vermin, and he asks you a question, what cartridge are you going to use to shoot this and where you're shooting it, and he knows that area, he'll say, well, that shot's going to go way outside the boundaries of where you're shooting. Can't give you the license because you're unsafe. So just don't bloody mention it, because you're not going to be doing it straight away until you learn anyway. That's about it. To send off for your certificate or license, as some people call it, and take up shooting. And like and subscribe and buy a t-shirt. Click on my channel at the top. There's a link where you can get them.